Hi honeys, it's Michelle. In today's video, I am going to talk to you about last night's episode of 90 Day Fiance The Other Way. If you haven't seen last night's episode, be sure to go watch that before you watch this video because there are spoilers. Jenny and Sumit. In the beginning of the episode, Jenny and Sumit are talking about him going to meet with his parents and what their fears about it are, especially what her fears are. And I guess I'm not quite understanding how he feels like he can even trust them after what happened the last time that she was in India. I remember them kind of breaking into his house and kind of kidnapping him, I guess you would say, and forcing him to try to make it work with the wife that he had the arranged marriage with. I wouldn't feel like I could trust that something like that wouldn't happen again. Then they show Sumit on his way to meet with his parents, and they do an interview with his parents, and they ask, what is your problem with Jenny, and do you want them to get married and all this? And they reveal that Jenny had come to India, I guess on vacation or something, in their mind anyway, and asked, so I don't know if her and Sumit had already been talking online at this point, but she had asked if she could stay with them while she was in India, and then it would just be for maybe 4 or 5 days. Well, according to his parents, it turned into months of her staying there, and she actually was really more of a friend to his mom, and they got along really well, and they were the same age and all that. Well, now remember, he was a virgin, right? That was revealed a few episodes ago. His parents started feeling like there was an odd attraction going on between the two of them, even though, according to his parents, she was double his age. Now, if she's a friend of his mom's at that point, I could really see how that would be inappropriate. Which they never had mentioned that before, unless the whole thing was kind of a let's lie to my parents so that they'll let you stay here and we already met a line kind of thing. But I just found that whole thing kind of shocking. Like, wait a minute, they've never mentioned any of this before. So apparently it occurred to his parents, I don't know if they walked in or what, but it occurred to them that there was intimacy going on, and that's when they flipped out and told her to leave and said they didn't like her and all that kind of stuff. Fast forward years later, they're still together and she's moved to India to be with him and so on and so forth. So I don't know if I blame them as much for not liking her now that I know the whole story, or at least their side of the story too. I'm sure the true story is somewhere in between the two. But, and then they mentioned, and I think a lot of parents feel this way, that part of their problem with her is they really want grandchildren and she's too old to have more kids. I can't say I blame them, however, I just feel like a lot of parents kind of get stuck on an idea they have of what their child's life is going to be like when they become an adult. And people have free will and they do what they want to do. So if they want a relationship with their son, it's probably going to be better if they just accept that he's going to be with Jenny. As he's walking there and just saying his thoughts, he keeps mentioning that he just wants to be happy. And I think that he is happy with her. Now, one thing I found out watching the episode last night, I thought it was the finale, the season finale. No, it's the mid-season finale. So I'm not sure what happens between now and what they showed. But when they show the next episode, they show him back at home talking to Jenny, telling her that he's not willing to give up his family. Which is kind of a little bit of a turn of events, isn't it? Because I thought he said that he would give up his family or anything he had to be with her. And I'm not saying he should be in that position, but it sounds like he might have had a change of heart. Now, the next episode is not until October 11th, so we're going to have to wait a while to find out. Deavann and Jihoon. Well, good morning. It's my cat, Zelda. In the episode, they show Devon's mom leaving, and obviously, her and her mom are sad about it. They leave Jihoon alone with the kids. From what I saw, which I know everything's highly edited, but it seemed like he did fine. And the only other thing that was really shown was her having a discussion with Jihoon now that her mom's gone about how she wants him to stop borrowing money from people because apparently he borrowed his mom's credit card for something. Can't say I blame her there. And then when they show what's coming up in the next half of the season, they show her asking him if he's cheated on her. So I don't know where that's coming from. Then they show the virus hitting and her being there and her saying that she really doesn't want to be there anymore. Does she go home? If I were to guess, I would say yes. I think she went home. I think she's here in the US. But that's just my personal thought. I'm not, I guess we'll find out, right? So let me know what you think. Is she here? Is she still over there? Are they still together? Ariela and Vinyum. Well, this was an interesting episode. They're talking in the episode about how they had just had their first night alone together and they didn't get along. I would think they'd be getting along very well, but I don't know. There's something that's just not clicking with those two for me. Then he says, well, you can't leave. And she says, yes, I can. She's upset about the apartment situation, which, I understand, but maybe you just go home. You are in a different country. You're going to have to accept how it is out there. I still don't get why if she has so much money, why doesn't she just pay for the apartment? Instead, she's expecting him to do it when he just doesn't have that kind of income. Then she says something that really got to me. She said that she feels pressured to stay because she doesn't want to make him sad or hurt him, because she knows he's been through a lot of loss in his life with his parents passing away and his ex-wife just picking up one day and leaving with the baby. So it sounds like she doesn't really want to be there. It sounds like she's staying because she thinks she should. That's always dangerous territory, when you start doing everything because you think you should, especially in a relationship. The rest of the episode was just a bunch of arguing between these two. Then they show her having to have an emergency C-section when I think she was planning on going home. But I could be wrong. Maybe she wasn't. Maybe she was planning on staying. And they show his sisters telling her that if the baby doesn't get baptized, the baby's going to hell. And I don't think she responded to that very well. So I would not be surprised at all with how she's responding to her mother leaving. I wouldn't be surprised if she went home. It sounds like there's just a lot of arguing that's going to be happening from here on out on the show with those two. Kenneth and Armando. In last night's episode, they show Kenneth's daughters packing and heading back home. It just seems like Armando gets along so well with Kenneth's daughters, which is wonderful. And that's all they showed. Here we go again. Let's just show them for 5 minutes and call it good. Then they show in the next half of the season, they're at Armando's parents' house, and his mom, you can hear his mom kind of saying that he brought Kenneth with him, and they kind of look at each other like, okay, is he going to come out? And the door closes. So does that mean that that's one of those bye kind of things, or did he end up coming out? I will find out. And then they're also being told by someone that they can't get married in Mexico, which is another reason I think maybe they should just come over here if it's possible. And that's it. I want to see more of them. I'm very frustrated with that. Brittany and Yazan. In last night's episode, Brittany reveals to us, because she's more comfortable being honest with us than her fiance, that she's actually going to Chicago because her divorce is about to be finalized and she needs to go back for that. Oh, and she also gets to see a baby while she's there. So that's not good. I still get the feeling that she just doesn't take this as seriously as maybe she should. This is Jordan. It's not, things aren't quite as laid back as they are here, I guess is the way to say it. Now, he keeps mentioning that he's not happy that she's leaving and he feels really weird about her leaving. Then they show him kind of talking later that he feels like she's lying to him. And I get that. I mean, because she is. And I think a lot of us can feel it when people are lying to us. It's kind of like that whole thing where you hear all the time about somebody finding out they were being cheated on. Usually they're not surprised, like they had a feeling. I think it's the same way with lying. You usually know when people are lying to you. I just don't see how they can have a healthy relationship if it's built on lies and a complete lack of respect for each other and each other's cultures. I'm just not holding out any hope for these two. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, prove me wrong, I guess, but I just don't see it. Then they show previews for what's in the next half of the season, and she's on the phone talking about how he's not going to be giving her an ultimatum, and she's flying back to, I guess, rip into him or something. And then they show somebody telling her that, yeah, a lot of people hate him now because he's with you, and just so you know, he might get killed over it. And then it's like, oh, okay, so this is serious. It's like, yeah, we've all been telling you that this whole time. Sorry, I'm frustrated. I don't understand. I get very frustrated with this whole situation because I don't understand. If you don't understand and respect a culture, why would you want to move to the, if you don't understand a country's culture, why would you want to move there? She just want to get famous? Is that why she's on there? Probably. I don't know. Tim and Melyza. So it's really a weird episode for me with these two. He tells her that he thinks they should get married because he wants it to get a job down there. And if they're married, the chances are quite a bit higher that he'll be able to get a job. And she doesn't like this. She doesn't think that that's a good reason to want to get married. I agree. She also said that it's not even in her mind to think about getting married right now, that she can't marry somebody that she doesn't trust. Then he starts saying, well, I get that, but if things aren't going to work out here, I need to go home because I either need to quit my job and stay here or go home and keep doing my job. And that's when it really starts coming out that she didn't know that he didn't quit his job. She didn't know that he was holding on to that backup plan. Are we surprised? I wasn't. But so that was interesting. So she obviously got upset. Then she says that she didn't ask him to sacrifice everything because he says he's sacrificing everything to be there with her. He gets mad. He leaves. Then she says to the camera that she's been hiding something from him. What? What have you been hiding? What? This relationship just isn't going to work. They're both lying to each other then. I mean, not that anybody should lie in a relationship, but I mean, we already knew it was doomed, but now it's really doomed. So then when they show the second half of the season, they show him saying, I want to know if you slept with someone else. And she says, wait for it, you don't need to know that. Which I take as a, yeah. Yes, she has. That's what I take it to mean. I don't know. Let me know what you think. This season so far, it's like I'm bored and I'm disgusted, and yet I can't stop watching. It's like a slow train wreck or something. So if anybody's going to last tell me who you think it'll be. You already know who I think is going to last. That is it for this 90 Day Fiance The Other Way recap and review. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I love you. Bye.